What's good? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another special edition of the Open Table. It is our late night conversation roundtable where me and Adelia, my co-host, just talk about life. Sometimes talk to people, but most of the time talk about life. Like I said, I do it with Adelia. I wouldn't pick anyone else to do this with.
Thank you, Ferris. That's very kind of you.
And you heard her right there, so let's introduce her. Adelia, how are you? How you doing? How you living?
I'm doing all right. It's been kind of a long day. My mother's birthday's tomorrow. My sister and her daughter showed up here to surprise her today. So lots of stuff happening. But I'm glad to be here with you tonight, Ferris. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, dang it. Oh, my cup is in the kitchen. My cup is in the kitchen.
It's okay.
One of my favorite artists dropped his new album.
Mm-hmm.
Technically last night, but it was midnight Eastern, which was 9 o'clock Pacific.
So Friday, technically.
So technically Friday, so today. So he's big into orange juice. His name is Larry June.
Okay.
No, and I tweeted out, "Oh, new Larry June out. Break out the orange juice."
Oh, that's what that tweet was about.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what you were tweeting about.
Yeah. My Twitter is just a mess.
Your Twitter is a mess. I just put on Twitter tonight a 7 or 8 tweet thread about Loki and what the series meant to me, even though I can't formulate actual thoughts on how to describe what the series means to me. So that's on my Twitter if anybody wants to check it out. But we have a lot to talk about tonight, Ferris. We didn't know what we were going to talk about this week, and then suddenly we have a lot to talk about this week.
Yes, absolutely. First, the most important thing in the world, the most important thing in our space, the most important thing ever. I built a bookshelf. Yeah, you're damn right I did. I built a bookshelf, okay? I don't have a photo, but actually I do have a photo. Yeah, I built it. No, that's not the most important thing in our space. The most important thing in our space is effectively at midnight on Thursday, the SAG-AFTRA strikes are over. Picket lines, they're dispersing. The board of SAG-AFTRA has, I guess not unanimously, but majoritarily voted to recommend the deal they got.
86% of the vote approved it.
Yep, a B+ to the governing body. They're waiting for them to vote on it. So we'll see how that goes. The board voted on it. Now goes to the members, the SAG-AFTRA members. So they just need a majority to pass it. So exactly, yes. SAG actually had this giant thread about it. I don't know. I could bring it up and read it, but I kind of don't want to.
Yeah. They got a lot of stuff in this deal. Streaming money, minimums went up 7% across the board. There was stuff for background actors. There were a very confusing thing about AI. I don't quite understand what their sentence meant. It was something about protections and compensation stuff about AI. That's great, because that was the main thing I feel like in this thing was the AI stuff. But it also didn't sound like they got everything they wanted on the AI stuff. But that's negotiations. You're never going to get everything you want.
Yeah.
I do feel like the writers got a better deal on the AI stuff than the actors did, but I don't know because I haven't seen the language of the contracts to really.
Well, because I think people have realized the AI stuff, the writing is clunky.
The writing's so bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's extremely bad. So the writers had good. With AI stuff with the actors, it's just scanning somebody, keeping their likeness and putting them in digital format like they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Yeah. But the strikes are over, which means we can get back to making our content the way we normally would. Ton of news expected to come out now that the strikes are over.
I love on Thursday, there was like a 10, 15 trailers just dropped.
Yeah.
And then Alex dropped them all in the Discord. Shout out to you, Alex, man. Wherever you are, Alex. I miss you. I don't know where you are.
Alex puts all the trailers in the Discord, I feel like. If they're
Why doesn't Alex talk to us anymore?
I don't know.
Sad. I miss him.
He's not around that much. It's very true.
I don't know. I just miss his lovely personality. He has a very buoyant personality. It's very vibrant. You know?
Shout out to you, Alex, our graphics guy.
Same with ASG. I miss him.
I miss ASG too.
Yeah. I need somebody to yell at.
Did you to change the subject slightly, did you watch the fantasy football roundup this week, Ferris?
I heard Snark was on it, and I'll need to watch it.
Snark was the host. I was the guest. We did a little quick live edition of the show yesterday because we couldn't get it done before then. And at the end, he jokes that the show was like if AI had written what someone hosting other than you would have been like. It's very funny.
Now it's definitely gonna be on my watching. Definitely watching now.
It was fun. I think he did a good job, but it was definitely funny.
Yeah. We're out. You know what? We have to outsource to the foreigners,
Ferris, that's a horrible joke.
Sorry. Because he's Canadian. But yeah, man, I'm happy about it. I'm happy the actors, because here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about actors, man. Actors love to act.
They do.
They love this thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, actors are a special type of a breed of person. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like, imagine being an actor, man. Like, there's times where they're not working, that they're like just, and then, then there's times where they're always working. Mm-hmm. And then, because, it's like this, like, you act, you on a movie set for like 3 months and you working every single day. Mm-hmm. And then boom, all your scenes are filmed. You're done. And then you go back to work when the movie's finished for promo. Like promotion is a part of being an actor, Mm-hmm. I remember back in the day, Tom Cruise changed the way actors do promotion when he became a superstar, where he would do it back to back. Like, so he would fly and go bang, 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 bang. So they expect most actors to do that nowadays. Some actors can't do that because, not everyone's crazy like Tom Cruise. Psycho. Love you, though.
Very true.
Love you, though, but you are a crazy person. Well, okay, love's a strong word. I just think you're an acting superstar. But yeah, like, and then they're done working. Then they're on to the next movie, or on to their next TV show, or they're waiting for the next 2 years. So you gotta love this. You gotta love this job, because this job isn't stable. It's not stable, dog. You could be, and then getting one of them, like it's also the TV actors, man. A lot of shows get canceled. A lot of shows get a season, 2 seasons, and they're done. They don't grab somebody. It's funny to me, Adelia. What's so funny about TV too is, like, the TV show Succession with all those actors. They're all now super famous now. All of them. Like Jeremy Strong. You know who Jeremy Strong is. You know who Sarah Snook is. You know who Kieran Culkin is. Even though he went from being Macaulay Culkin's little weird brother to, oh snap, that's Kieran Culkin. I know who that guy is. Yeah. And Alan Rook, dude. You know how old people got to be. Alan Rook drove into a Taco Bell like last week, all right, or a restaurant. I don't know why I called it a Taco Bell. It's like a random restaurant, and they don't say star of Ferris Bueller's Day Off Alan Rook anymore. He's no longer star of Succession Alan Rook. Like, they're all superstars now.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about that from who was it? Adam Witt.
Yeah.
Saying, "Man, I know I'm old now."
Yeah.
When they went with star of Succession. Exactly.
So the thing is, but Adelia, the final of Succession, it was only like 2.5 million people watched it.
Yeah.
And you're like, William Harrell, Alan Rook of Star Trek Generations fame. You know what? I like this William Harold guy. I like him.
William Harold too.
I like him. You know why I know I liked him? First time William ever came into the chat, he said something, and I insulted him. All right.
Of course you did.
And instead of leaving, he came back and had fun.
Yeah.
You know, you're a cool cat, William Harold. We were actually in his backyard, Adelia.
We were.
Yeah. William, next time I'm in that Tucson, Arizona, I'll try to go to the loft. See what's up with that.
We'll have to try to hit up the loft the next time we're all together in Tucson.
My thing is, what was my thing? So like Succession, man. But if you on Twitter talking about Succession, you think everyone's watching Succession. You think everybody's watching it. You think 10 million people. You think at least 8 million people. Like people are watching the show. Like it's like Game of Thrones. No. 2 million people. 2.5 million people. It's crazy. And then like you go on like, regular TV, regular network broadcast. You got Yellowstone getting 8-9 million folks. You know what I mean? NCIS back in the day getting 8-9 million folks. Shout out to NCIS. Boom. But it's not NCIS because Mark Harmon's gone. So I won't call it NCIS anymore. It's just a bunch of weird government agents together.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's procedurals.
Yeah. No, you can't have NCIS without Jeffro. Make no sense. By the way,
no, Ferris.
Shout out, man. Shout out to Ducky, man. RP Ducky. Shout out to my guy Ducky. He passed away this year. Ducky's actually Ducky. The real actor's name. I need to find out who the real actor is. David McCallum. David McCallum.
Okay.
He actually invented one of the greatest samples in music history.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest of all time. It's actually, I think, Dr. Dre samples it. Oh man, it's pristine. The original song is pristine. Shout out to you, Ducky. God rest your soul, beloved human being.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
My parents have finished Yellowstone, by the way.
Good for them.
My mother cannot wait until the second half of season 5. That's what they're waiting for, right? Comes out in a year. Mm-hmm. Like they have become obsessed with this show, and it's so weird to me.
No, it's not weird. You know why I do? They're from a generation where Kevin Costner has a hold on them. Kevin Costner, man.
Kind of, yeah.
Kevin Costner is amazing. That man is an immigrant's dream. People love Kevin Costner. A lot of immigrants love Kevin Costner. Found out about. It's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, the actors, man, they're just a different breed of human.
Yeah. I mean, they were back doing promo the very next day after the strike was suspended.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson were on The Tonight Show. I saw Barry Keoghan, or however you say his last name, was doing promos for some movie that he was at in New York. Like, they were just ready to go back to work. And like
he's in a movie with Austin Butler.
Yeah.
Where they're military men. They're bombard, like they're like gunners, and like they're bomb running. They're dropping bombs in World War II. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So him, Austin Butler, and some other folks. Austin Butler always doing some weird voices. He needs to stop that, man. Yo, man, if that man keeps talking like Elvis, I'm gonna throw some eggs at him. I swear to God.
I have yet to see Elvis, so I don't know what you're referring to. But
no, it's not the movie.
You can't use the same accent for every role if that's what he's doing.
No, dude, he was talking like Elvis in interviews.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Bro, man, keep it moving, bro.
I understand that there are method actors that speak in the accent the whole time they're filming the movie, but like once the movie's done, I think you can stop speaking in the accent.
You know what my favorite quote ever about method actors is, Adelia?
What?
Robert Pattinson's like, oh, method actors? You mean the bunch of assholes? he's like, yeah, method acting is just an excuse to be an asshole. I don't do that nonsense.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, oh damn, Robert Pattinson. Shout out to Robert Pattinson, you know what I mean? That's my Batman. Shout out to you. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen a lot of Batman. Bale's been You know, I've been born for Bale and Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson. So there's that. Shout out to them.
I've seen Keaton. I've seen Clooney. I've seen Kilmer. I've seen Affleck. And I've seen Bale as Batman. I think the only one I liked was Keaton. Oh, and Adam West. Adam West is my favorite Batman, sorry.
Yeah, shout out to you, Adam West. Yeah, man, why does Batman gotta always be sad all the time?
I don't know, like, Batman used to be so much fun with the 60s TV show and everything, and then they wanted to make, like, a more real, you know, gritty, grounded movie in 89, and that's great, but, like, then it got silly with, like, the Bat card and George Clooney's nipples. That's
my Batman.
But,
Bat butts.
Yeah, all that. But then ever since, it's all been like, we gotta be so grounded and realistic, and Batman's not fun to me. Like, he's just not. Like, I had no desire to see the Batman when it came out. Like, I don't need another brooding, you know, Batman.
You know all of Batman's problems, Adelia? You know how I can fix all of Batman's problems?
How?
Go to fucking therapy.
Yeah, therapy. Batman really needs therapy.
My homie was like, nah, I'm gonna dress up like a bat and beat people up at night.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. You're a billionaire. Go to therapy. Use your money for good.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone should go to therapy if they have issues like Batman has.
You damn right. You got PTSD watching your parents get murdered in front of you. Just go talk to a therapist, man. Jesus. Do some healthy coping mechanisms. But like, nah, I'm gonna go beat up some people. And you know, when Batman was created, all the villains got created because, you know, there's always gonna be one dude that's like, nah, I don't like that good person. I need to be a bad person. The reason all the villains are created is that Batman is Batman. He's the beacon to all the super villainy. Yeah. So shout out to the actors. Love y'all. Hope y'all are well. Hope y'all are doing great. I'm watching the Marvels next week. Apparently, Iman Vellani. Dub.
Love her.
Dub. Shout out to you, Dub. Another dub for the Muslims. Boom.
I wish more people were going to see that movie. Captain Marvel is my jam.
I like Captain Marvel.
I love Captain Marvel. I think that there's not like reasonable people, but people that are like, oh, she said something negative about men, we must hate her now. I've just like trashed this movie. And like, I get it's not for everyone, like, but not every movie is going to be for everyone. Like, I saw some critic wrote, it's made for teenage girls. Well, what's wrong with that? Like, teenage girls read comic books. Teenage girls are MCU fans. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But they said it so snide and like it was a massive negative for the film. And it's just like, not everything has to be made for you comic nerd boys. And some of them really need to just like realize that.
Yeah, no, there's a demographic for every film. Does it hit other people outside the demographic? Absolutely.
Of course.
Like, Black Panther was made for the black community. Everyone knew this. I knew that. Everyone knew it. And it hit hard for them. And they loved it.
I love Black Panther.
I'm not black. Adelia's not black. I loved it too. We're outside the target demographic. But every movie has a target demographic. Every movie.
And speaking of target demographic, I am the Captain Marvel target demographic. That movie was set in the late 90s when I was a teenage girl. It had some of my favorite songs in it. Like that, I love that movie. It's in my Marvel MCU top 10 probably. And so many people hate it and hate Brie Larson's performance. Why do they hate Brie Larson's performance? Maybe some of them it's genuine, but for a lot of them it's because she managed to say, oh, we need more female critics in the room. We do need more female critics in the room. There's nothing wrong with that. But these men get so goddamn butthurt about everything because, oh my god, a woman wants some more diversity, that it's the end of the world to these people and they just decide to ruin everything that she's in now.
It's like, no, it's they think like, oh, if we have more female critics, they're gonna get rid of me. Nah, they're just adding.
Yeah, we need more female critics. We need more racially diverse critics. Like, not everything needs to be judged by older white men. Sorry.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Brie Larson.
Love Brie Larson. I can't wait to see the Marvels. I didn't get to see it this week. I'm gonna have to wait until next Friday to see it.
Fortunately, I heard you have a boyfriend, so I'm kind of sad.
Oh, does she? I have no idea. I don't keep up on the personal lives of celebrities.
I don't either.
You don't, but you always seem to know who has a boyfriend and who doesn't.
That's because I'm a man. It's a difference.
No, it's not.
Okay, fine. It's no difference.
But yeah, the Marvels is coming out this week.
Can't wait to watch it. I think I'm gonna watch it Tuesday.
I can't wait to watch it. I love Captain Marvel. I love Monica Rambeau. I thought she was fantastic in WandaVision. And
should I watch it Tuesday? Thursday.
Kamala Khan was so delightful in Ms. Marvel. Like, not everything about Ms. Marvel worked, but it was phenomenal to see that series. Not everything about the series worked for me, Ferris. I'm sorry. But it's still a great series. I'd say it's probably one of the upper tier Marvel series on Disney Plus.
Top 5 for me.
Yeah, for sure. And then, but she's a delight, Iman Vellani. She's an absolute delight.
You know my favorite. You know what my favorite scene in the entire show is?
What?
When she on the roof, right, and her dad sees her on the roof, and they're talking, and he brings up her name, and then at the end he just like casually says, "You're our little Marvel." Like, it, nothing about it was corny. It was wholesome. It was straight to the things, and I'm like, yo, that's a great name origin. That's how you do a name origin right there.
Yeah.
That's how you know, man. And then,
I absolutely adore her family.
Don't even get me started on the sound at the end.
So great. It's great. I love it so much. I have heard that there's a fascinating post-credit scene in the Marvels. I don't know what it's about, but I've heard it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So I can't wait to see it. Danny said that it's leaked on the internet, so I've been trying to avoid it at all costs.
I'm really good at avoiding spoilers.
See, I'm generally really good at avoiding spoilers. Like with No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, I couldn't avoid the spoilers because for some reason people were filming the movie in other countries on their phone. And so like 2 days before it came out here, I went on YouTube and the algorithm decided to show me a ton of clips that were very spoilery in the titles of these clips from the movie.
See, like, that didn't happen to me.
It was like Aunt May's death.
Yeah, no, I didn't see any of that.
Well, great. I guess that's what's happening in this movie, which sucks because I love Marissa Tomei. I love Marissa Tomei too. Like, she's a great actor. So I'm very glad that this movie has not been spoiled for me yet. Do you know Doctor Strange? You know the famous story about my famous Doctor Strange story, right? Adelia? How you didn't watch it and then you did? No, I watched it, but then I fell asleep. And you fell asleep. And then I tried to watch it 4 years later, but I kept falling asleep. And then I finally finished it. In those 4 years, I didn't see a single spoiler for Doctor Strange. That's very nice. I have not seen a ton of spoilers for Rings of Power, which I have not watched all the way through yet. I've watched the first 2 episodes. This is my Thanksgiving plans, is I'm going to binge watch Rings of Power. So I can talk to our friend French Tonner about it, because he keeps coming into the voice chat in our Discord and bringing up Rings of Power. But I am remarkably unspoiled on that still. And like, you know me, I'm in the Lord of the Rings space on Twitter and stuff. I am still remarkably unspoiled on that show. It's the Lord of the Rings space? There is. There's a ton of Lord of the Rings Twitter accounts. Nice. I've never seen it. Yeah. Well, seriously though, I watched Lord of the Rings like it was meant to be watched. I watched the non-extendeds on my phone. Oh god, Paris, I haven't seen the theatrical version since I literally was in the theater. What's wrong with them? They won awards Nothing's wrong with them, but they're better if the extended versions. Like, a lot of director's cuts are not better. Let's just be honest about that. They're not. Yeah. It's just throwing scenes back in the movie. But like the extended editions of Lord of the Rings are very, very good.
Y'all be shaming people.
I'm not shaming people. If the only movies you want to watch are the theatrical cuts, fine. Not everyone has 4.5 hours to spend to watch Return of the King. But like, I'm the crazy person that watches all 3 of them in the same day, the day after I watch all 3 of the extended editions of The Hobbit in the same day. So I don't expect anyone to be like me.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'll just put them on and they'll be on in the background while I do other things at this point. Sometimes I sit down and just thoroughly watch them, but
yeah.
I'm a Lord of the Rings trivia champion, Ferris.
Well, you're looking at the Fast and the Furious trivia champion, Adelia.
Yeah. Shout out to Video Drew and Nerd Chronic.
Yeah. Beat Hector Navarro.
I beat Marisol McKee.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah. Fist bump. Bam. I'm also the Back to the Future champion as well.
From the Rob Fishback Network?
Yep. I beat Ryan Payne.
Yep. I have only participated in 2 trivia contests in my life. One was on the Hamilton Pro Cut that was on Disney Plus, and the other is the Lord of the Rings trivia that I won. And I'm retired now. I'm not doing it anymore.
I'm 2-1.
I'm
no.
1-1.
I'm 2-2.
I'm 1-1.
I lost that Lilo and Stitch one.
Yeah.
That one made me angry.
Shout out to French, who's in the chat. Good to see you, French.
You know who I lost it to?
Who?
I lost it to Kiwi Jess.
She loves Lilo and Stitch.
I do too, and it annoyed the shit out of me that I lost. Because I was second the entire match. Mm-hmm. And at the end, I lost it.
Yeah.
And then if I had gotten one, if I didn't check down to one question, I would have tied with her, and we would have went into the sudden death, and I knew the first sudden death question.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know the final question, and I didn't know the final question. So if I didn't check down, the only question I missed was that final question. So if I didn't check down on one of my other questions, I would have been sudden death with her, and then I would have beaten her because I know I would have beaten her. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kiwis,
hang on. French says the Apocalypse Now Redux adds 5 minutes for 49 minutes that should have been cut the first time. I don't understand what that means.
I don't know what that means, but
thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kiwis,
the documentary about that movie apparently is better than the movie.
I've never seen it. I don't watch like stuff like that.
So apparently Martin Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
He had a heart attack in the middle of filming. And Lawrence Fishburne lied about his age to get on the movie. He was 17.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't accept anyone under 18 because they weren't shooting in America, I think. They were shooting somewhere else. So they needed everyone to be 18. And he lied. And Martin Sheen almost died. There was like a fight.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the heart attack. And then there was like a fight. Someone threatened to punch. Damn, what's his name?
I don't know.
Damn it.
Who are you thinking of?
He's the Godfather director.
Coppola.
Yep, Francis Ford Coppola. Someone like tried to beat him up. Like it was all hell broke loose. It's a great movie. I don't know what it was called, but it's a documentary about the movie. Apparently the documentary is better than the movie, which is weird. But yeah, speaking of Kiwis, one day me and Adelia did something special. Adelia, you know what's crazy? This is how I ended up watching the UCL final, Real Madrid versus Liverpool. The same way. I didn't know it was the final. I didn't know it was the final, and I found out from someone else it was a final. So like I was on Paramount. I was like just chilling on Paramount Plus, and Paramount Plus, they're like UCL final, and it was like, oh snap, the Champions League is today. So I clicked it and I watched the Champions League. First time I ever saw Thierry, Jamie, and Big Meeks. And Kate Abdu, the second best studio.
Before you continue, French has clarified his statement. You get 5 minutes extra that are fun for an additional 49 minutes that were not as fun. They shot that in the Philippines.
Tipsy bam.
Understand now, French. Thank you.
So first time I ever saw them, and then I watched my first ever UCL final live.
Mm-hmm.
So if I remember, Ferris, what's the first UCL final you ever watched live? The one Liverpool lost to Real Madrid because Trent Alexander-Arnold sucks at playing defense.
He does. He's probably the worst defender in the Premier League.
He's garbage. Keep him there, though.
Yeah.
Keep him there. I like it. But he's so bad. He's so bad. I got a gray hair. You see that? No. That's great. You don't see this gray hair I got?
I have very gray temples, so...
I don't know what that means. That sounds horrible.
Temples are right here.
Oh, okay. So speaking of Kiwis, like I said, me and Adelia ended up watching the Rugby World Cup.
Yes.
I didn't know it was
I watched all of the Rugby World Cup.
I watched the second half because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever watching. This is the second time ever watching the All Blacks. I watched them with Flow Rugby a couple of months ago. But I kind of really wasn't paying attention, so I don't know what happened. But I was paying attention for this game. And God, rugby is such a crazy sport, man.
Rugby is a fascinating, violent, yet controlled sport.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It's just bonkers.
If you're not used to the rules, you can get very confused.
Yeah.
But the Rugby World Cup final we watched was South Africa, the defending champs, against New Zealand, the All Blacks, probably one of the greatest teams of all time. We've had a bit of a down year coming into the World Cup, so then making the World Cup final was kind of a surprise. But that game was fascinating.
Yeah,
what were
man.
your impressions of it, Ferris?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's basically lines of battle going back and forth, right? It's just lines of battle, like boom, bang, bang. It's just like, and then they're hitting each other. But then like you get someone who slips behind the line of battle, and then you create a new line of battle. So the I think
fascinating thing about rugby to me is how everybody on the field plays offense and defense. And if you are substituted, you go off and you don't come back on unless there's an injury in your position, and you play the whole game. Like, it's not like the NFL where it's like, oh, the offense is on the field and then the defense is on the field. No, it's just the 15 guys on the field, and then they have to do everything.
These brothers' shoulders, Adelia, are so massive.
Yeah,
their shoulders, Jesus, like they're.
Especially the pack, the scrum pack, they're massive.
Oh my God, they're massive. They're huge.
French says he tries to tune in for the haka, but he doesn't set an alarm for it. Understandable, French. The haka that the All Blacks perform is fascinating to watch.
Kamate kaora kar. Sorry.
Ferris is trying to memorize the haka, clearly.
Yeah. No, because Adelia, man, I was on YouTube. Apparently, the All Blacks got a YouTube, so I subscribed to YouTube. But also, Rugby World Cup has a YouTube, and they had this video called "The Evolution of the Haka." First time the haka ever showed up in rugby was in the 1980s, in a match, I think against Australia. So Australia was the first person ever given the haka or something.
Not surprised, because Australia is New Zealand's biggest rival. Yep.
And back in the day, they would end the haka by jumping. You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, it was a different haka that they did back then.
Yeah, they jumped. And then, no, it was the same haka, Adelia, like the same chant. So they changed it after. See, this video taught me all of this. So after 05, they change it to the Kappa O Pungo. That's the chant now, most of the time. But in the 80s and 90s, they would jump. But then when the 2000s hit, they would do the Kamate, which was the one prior to the Kappa O Pungo, which is the one they used after 05. They wouldn't jump in the 2000s. I don't think they jumped,
Yeah.
They just kind of like stayed there and like stood their ground, and then you have Jonah Lomu just staring at you with his eyes like this, and he's like, and you're like, the hell is this? Jonah Lomu was about to kill you. That's why.
Jonah Lomu, one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah. So like, and then like, because he's like, his head is like, shaking, and his eyes are like up, and he would stick out his tongue at you, and then like he would like creep towards you. He would creep towards you as he's doing it. He's creeping towards you, because technically you're supposed to be 10 yards away from the haka, the rule, which is now the rule. But I think back then they didn't have that rule, and they would get up in their faces, and like Jonah Lomu would get up in your face, and he would just like, I'm about to take you to the spirit world, and you're like, damn, bro, Jonah, come on, son, do it again.
It's a shame that he died so young.
Oh, damn, he passed away?
Yeah, he passed away. I believe it was after the 2015 World Cup in England. He got a blood clot on his way back to New Zealand and died.
Was he a part of the 2015 World Cup?
No, he was retired. I think he was just there to commentate or something.
Oh, he was like in his 40s or something?
Yeah.
Oh, man, God rest your soul.
Shame.
Yeah, because he was with the All Blacks for 20 years.
He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, because I think his first test match was when he was 20. He was like 20. And then they were like, and then in the video was like, this is the first haka of Jonah Lomu's story 20-year career. I'm like, damn, 20 years in rugby?
Yeah, 20 years in rugby. Yeah.
That's crazy. You know? But shout out to Richie McCaw, 148 test matches.
Have you seen the documentary on Richie McCaw yet?
No, wait, where is it?
I don't know where it's streaming. I'll have to find it. But it's called Chasing Great. Really good documentary.
I got to watch it because the All Blacks, I'm an American, but they're my team.
Yeah.
They're my team. And this was
before. There is an American team.
There is an American team.
The last time I saw the American team play, they lost 100 and something to New Zealand. So they're not great.
Yeah, no, they suck. They're not.
Yeah.
Good. So that's why the New Zealand.
They did not qualify for this World Cup. But we did have a big upset in this World Cup. Fiji was playing really well. They qualified for the quarterfinals, and they lost to Portugal, which is a phenomenal upset. I can't explain to you how much of an upset that was. But it was a really good Rugby World Cup, and I'm glad you're interested in the sport, because I love watching it. I love sports where there's violent hits. I don't know why. It's just a thing. Like, maybe it comes from being a hockey fan in the 90s. I don't know. But rugby is fiery. It is passionate. We had a red card in the World Cup final, which is insane. Captain of the All Blacks red carded.
Is that Kieran Reid?
No, Sam Kane. Kieran Reid's retired.
Oh. So yeah, the documentary is pretty old.
Yeah, I believe that because it's on the British and Irish Lions tour of New Zealand, so I believe that was 2017. So the documentary came out in 2018.
Can we talk about how bullshit that is? Yo, that is bullshit. Let me tell you, bro.
What's bullshit?
You telling me 4 countries combined into one face one country?
That's a special thing. That's a special thing. It happens every 4 years.
12 years.
No, it's every 12 years for when they visit New Zealand, but it happens every 4 years. Like, they just did it in 2021 against South Africa, and then in 2025 they're going to go to Australia, and they rotate between the 3 countries.
Okay, so every 4 years, but every 12 years in New Zealand.
Yes. So, the last time they played Australia in the British and Irish Lions was in 2013.
So technically, Adelia, it's every 12 years for all 3 teams.
Yes, it's every 12 years for all 3 teams, but it's every 4 years for the British and Irish Lions. They just rotate between the 3.
So they're every 4, but the other teams are every 12.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Still, that's bullshit. Like, imagine you're a country. You're South Africa, and you're like, we're only doing South Africa, and then you have you have England telling you, okay, we're gonna create a team. We're going to create a team, okay? We're going against your team. And you're like, cool. You can only pick South Africans. And you're like, okay, cool. But we're going to pick from 4 countries. You're like, what the fuck? What?
I don't know that it was necessarily England's idea to do this. The British and Irish Lions go back decades.
But
like
during
way back.
The United Kingdom when they controlled all 4 countries, correct?
I mean, maybe, but not necessarily. I don't know exactly when the British and Irish Lions started.
Okay, why is it called the British Irish Lions when they have Scots and Welsh people there?
Well, because the Scots and Welsh are British.
Oh, makes sense. But yeah, man, like, come on, like, I'm sorry, like, if I lose to them, I'm like, bro, like they're basically picking like a superstar squad from all 4 countries.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is, can the Southern Hemisphere teams, which is Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, beat the best of the Northern Hemisphere teams, which is the British and Irish, basically.
So, okay, thank you for pointing that. What if all 3 of those teams create a super team? And then we'll find out.
Barbarians, basically.
The what?
The Barbarians is like an all-star team that plays countries in friendlies, which are called test matches.
Exactly. So, like, imagine you have the British Irish Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we're going to create our all-star team with these 4 countries. You create an all-star team. And I bet you you combined, not even Australia, you combine South Africa and New Zealand into one team.
It would be pretty interesting.
It would, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of other countries that are good at rugby, though. Argentina's really good at rugby. Japan.
Yeah, apparently they're new. They're apparently like their new superpower, kind of.
Yeah, Japan's pretty decent at rugby. The French are obviously pretty good. Yeah, it's interesting when it's a sport that literally classifies the nations that compete in it as tier 1 or tier 2 nations, or maybe even tiers below that. But we got a hell of a World Cup final out of it.
Damn right we did.
South Africans beating the New Zealand All Blacks by a point.
Yeah, man, if the New Zealand
back-to-back champions,
if they just made one of those tries,
mm-hmm.
It would have been amazing because they would have won with a man down.
Yep. Sia Khaleesi, the captain of South Africa, first black captain of the South African team, the Springboks, winning back-to-back World Cups.
He's gonna go down in history.
He is. He really is.
I think he's gonna go down in history because like sometimes the first always isn't like the most. You know, like being first is all cool and all, but like sometimes it doesn't pan out, right? It just doesn't pan out. But now he's gonna be like, I was the first black South African captain, and in my first like 4 years in my captaincy, or the first.
It was roughly 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, my first 4 years in my captaincy, I won 2 World Cups.
Yeah, he's a legend in South African rugby now.
Yeah, he's gonna go down in history, and he's gonna go down in villainy in New Zealand, which is perfect for you, man. Do your thing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I'm starting to love rugby, man. Watching this sport is wild.
It is. It really.
I want to watch a game in New Zealand. I want to fly to New Zealand and watch a game.
It'd be interesting.
That's like what, 12 hours?
I think it's more than that.
A full day?
Maybe. I think it's more like a full day to get down there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of Dramamine.
Yeah.
Damn. What I used to fly to.
Before we get out of here, Ferris, because we're 43 minutes into the show. I also want to talk about this Coyote versus Acme thing.
Yeah, let's do that.
What the fuck, WB?
Nah, bro, it's
the day after the strike ends, you announce that you have a fully completed movie a year after it finished filming that you're just scrapping like you did with Batgirl for a tax write-off?
$30 million.
That movie could have made $30 million.
Yeah, I know. That's what they're getting.
Cena. It's got the Looney Tunes.
Would have made money. And apparently, Adelia, this is the report. It tested amazingly. Because like the biggest problem with Batgirl, people go like, oh, it tested horribly. People didn't really like it, the testing. But apparently this movie tested in the 95th percentile.
Yeah.
So this, Batgirl just sucked. They just, who cares? Nah, bruh. They's bullshitting now. So also, Adelia, so someone tweeted out Adelia.
Yeah.
If you're going to do tax write-offs of a movie that's fully complete, which basically means the U.S. people paid for this movie.
Yeah.
The movie should be public domain.
It should be public domain, put it in the Library of Congress, something. Like, it is bullshit that they are doing this. Like, if I was a director, I wouldn't work with WB for them doing this.
No, absolutely.
And I'm
I would
not
never work
saying
with
the
them.
other studios are, like, better or wouldn't do this same thing, but, like, WB is, like, making this a pattern. William Harold saying Zaslav clearly didn't get what Cena meant when he said, "You can't see me."
That's a good. That's a good, William. That's a good. I love you, William.
But
like my boy Willie.
This sounded so interesting to me. I knew nothing about this movie until this stuff
Me
came
neither.
out. A hybrid animation and live action that was like what Roger Rabbit. Like
no, it's more Looney Tunes back in action with Brendan Fraser.
I don't know what that is.
Whoa. You've never heard about Looney Tunes back in action?
No.
Adelia, no. Really?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was in the 2000s when Brendan Fraser was Brendan Fraser. Like, he was the man. And he made a movie with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck. You never heard about this?
No.
It was in 2003. It was Brendan Fraser, Jenna Elfman, and it was basically it's on Amazon, it's on Max, Adelia. Go watch it. It's like Roger Rabbit, but it's basically the Acme movie, the Coyote Acme movie was basically this movie. I would show you the imagery, but you've never heard about this?
No.
Wow, Adelia.
I have not. But I haven't heard about anything about Coyote versus Acme either. It sounds like it would be very interesting. I love the Looney Tunes stuff. Like, the director and the people that worked on the movie have been posting these heartbreaking tweets of just this stuff about the movie and how excited they were. And like, this movie starred John Cena. It was co-written by James Gunn. Like, how did these guys have any faith in WB after this?
Yo, it's produced by the guy who runs their superhero division, and they still said, nah.
Yeah. There was a clip, I forget who the composer was, but they put of one of the
Scott Derrickson
score. Just like, this is the kind of shit that the strike was about to me. Like, why is this shit happening? And then the day the strike ends, they decide to make this announcement? Or it gets uncovered by one of the trades or whatever it was? Like, what the fuck?
It's just
David Zaslav is like ruining Warner Brothers to make a buck for Discovery. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and that's always been the problem. It's always been the problem with mergers, Adelia, because the merging power ends up going to the people who make the most, not the most money, the more profit. Because he was the head of Discovery, and Discovery made their shows for like pennies on the dollar, and they would make so much. Of
course, they made their shows for pennies on the dollar. They're mostly reality TV.
Exactly. So people said, "Oh, he makes the money, so he's gonna be in charge of the company when we merge." When no, man, he's not. Like, you, because at the end of the day, you need the brand. When someone said HBO, you knew it was gonna be creative, somehow, some way. Was it gonna be good? Nope. But it was gonna be some type of creatively driven thing. You know? And now it's about who makes the money, dog. Who makes the money, dog?
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awful.
Damn shame.
Like, they also scrapped that Scoob Holiday Haunt or whatever it was called, animated movie for a tax write-off. Like, how many other projects have they done this to that we just haven't heard about yet?
A lot, yo. Has to be a lot.
I understand he's trying to look for $3 billion in savings, but like, this ain't how you do it. That movie would have made more money than they're getting from this tax write-off.
Mm-hmm. If you're telling me this movie tested in the 95th percentile, because that was the thing about Batgirl, it didn't test well. Well, apparently this movie was testing in the 90s. I've never tested in the 90s. Okay, that's a lie. I have gotten an A once or twice.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too. But yeah,
I have gotten an A once or twice as well.
Getting an A is pretty nice.
It is.
So that's why I savor them, because I know I don't get them a lot. Like, I know how to do school, but sometimes school doesn't want to do me.
Yeah. I reached a point with school where I was just like, "This is can I pass this? That's all that matters."
Yeah, basically.
But yeah.
I think we've come down to the end of the road.
I think we
have.
have.
Mosey down onto the bar.
What?
I don't know, because you know, Red Dead Redemption, in the road, you always end up at a bar.
I've never played Red Dead Redemption, Ferris.
It's kind of more like, like a cowboy thing.
Okay.
Speaking of cowboys, man, I gotta watch Lawman Bass Reeves.
Yeah.
Yo, did I tell you I watched Waco?
You have mentioned it a few times.
Oh my, that show is crazy.
Ferris tried to tell me the story of Waco as though I didn't live through it.
That's also a good point. But that show is crazy.
That situation was crazy.
I know. It's... What the hell? And then finding out that Oklahoma City was connected to it because the guy was like, I gotta punish you for Waco.
Mm-hmm. I remember that situation very well as well.
Yeah, man.
I got picked up from school and it was on the radio in the car. And I was like, wait, what? There was a what? I was in middle school, I think, when that happened.
It shows how the U.S. government didn't take white nationalism seriously.
No, they did not. They still don't, really.
They still don't. And then, watching Shea Wiggum is always playing a cop. He's always playing a cop. Shout out to you, Shea Wiggum. Go play something else. But shout out to you. And how, his character says, this is a big deal because the one thing we had over the white nationalists and the racists is that they were fractured. They were just spread out. They weren't organized. But now they're organizing. That's a bad thing. We need to fix that. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. government was like, nice story, bro. Thank you. Nothing. Then Oklahoma City happened.
Yep.
And then everything else happened. Still it's crazy. Also, too, man, I'm not, the government messed up at Waco, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not defending David Koresh. Now, that man's a scumbag. That man is He's a psychopath. That man is scum on earth. He is scum. Mm-hmm. But what the government did was not all right.
It was a terrible situation all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's end the show on that.
Yeah, let's end the show on that.
It's a great show, dude. Did you watch? It's a great.
No, I did not watch it. You know why I didn't watch it? Because I lived through it.
Did you watch Waco Aftermath?
No.
You should.
No.
Yeah, why don't you talk about it on my radio show later?
You should talk about it on your radio show.
Yeah.
Where can people find that radio show, Ferris?
You can find it on KSFS Radio every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern. Where can they find you, Adelia?
That would be at night, by the way. There's
not at night.
9 a.m.
9 p.m.
You can find me on Starting 11 on the Highlights channel with our buddy Snark. He and I will be doing a special live edition of the show Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific for our 50th episode. I can't believe we've done 50 episodes of the show already.
It's wonderful.
And you can find both of us with Snark on the Rewatchers Council, our Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch series. We've done 2 episodes so far. We're going to do all 140. Yeah, you were very tired.
Yeah.
We're going to do all 144 episodes of Buffy. So stay tuned for that. That's you can find on this channel Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Boom, shakalaka. So everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay safe. And always keep that table open.
Watch the Loki review on Tuesday.
Adelia, you can't. When I drop the catchphrase, you can't talk after that.
I didn't finish.
Okay, why don't you tell me that?
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay, well, I can't do the catchphrase again because it makes no sense.
I didn't want you to do the catchphrase again.
Okay. Peace.